Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hang on a minute. No, this is just a bonus episode. We don't need the full bells and whistles.
Wait, bells and whistles? We can't have them.
No, no bells and whistles. We need to tell the people about what's coming up next month.
Oh, our big is this is our big announcement, isn't it?
It is our big announcement, yeah. This is something we've been sat on for a while.
That we've our not so secret about the 2025-2026 Unstrung Archery Postal League.
That's the one.
Yeah, so we are back for this winter season with every month the Portsmouths carrying on from last year under the Unstrung Archery banner, and before that myself at Morecambe Bay Archers. So Neil, if you would like to tell us a bit more about the plan.
Well, entries are open right now, and so as Nye said, running through from November until March, we can basically just submit a Portsmouth round score. Ideally, your highest one that you got that month. That's usually the better one. But send on all your scores to us. It's only £2 per entry for any seniors and juniors. We want to see more juniors this year. Juniors are absolutely free, so there's absolutely no excuse for you not enter. We will leave details about how you can enter in the show notes and at the end of this episode as well. But first, let's talk about the heritage and the predecessors to the Unstrung Archery Postal League. Nye, you want to start us off with where it all began?
So it all began during the pandemic. I was down MBA and got talking about, it'd be nice to do something every month and shoot a different round and compile it into a little mini tournament. Just a few of the regulars down at MBA, and then we thought, we could do this more widely. And so, as it was, we put it out on our Facebook, and we've got good friends like Terry Finnegan at Asherton and quite a few other guys who all joined us. And from there, it just sort of built up. So from being 30 odd archers in the first year, to going up and down to 400 odds in just before I hung up my quiver with it. Just about 3 years ago now. It was so successful that it became a victim of its own success, because running it, because as Neil will tell you, vouch for, I'm a bit of a technophobe. So it was becoming a full-time job to manage it, and so I was enjoying the work, I was enjoying it, but it was just the legwork that required was just too much for me to handle. So I stepped back.
It becomes a full-time job, doesn't it? When you
to
deal with.
But then, fortunately, me and Neil, we've been talking for a long time, and Neil being a bit of a whiz with the computer stuff, Neil decided I can do so. Neil actually offered some custom software at the time, but I think at the time I was a bit burnt out at the time. But a year or so off, and was it about a year or so off, wasn't it, Neil? Before we came back, which led us to a bit of podcasting with and just sort of spending time with Neil, talking ideas through, and the good support of you good people listening. Neil decided, I think we should give it a go. So I said, I'll help you with it. And then Neil came back and brought it under the Unstrung Archery banner. So Neil, I suppose my question for yourself is, what was it that made you want to take on the Postal League after myself?
Well, obviously I enjoyed doing it. I think the Postal League was how we actually first met before I started noticing you at competitions and whatnot. So, as probably many people that did the MBA Postal League, that's how you got to know Nye, because he's a nosy bugger, and he likes looking through everyone's scores and having a chat with you about it and all that. So I wanted to kind of continue that tradition. I was a bit sad when Nye gave it up, but obviously completely understandable when it becomes a full-time job, kind of managing that level of entries. But obviously, I'm a developer by trade, so I designed a little bit of software that we use here in the Unstrung studio, and yeah, that was all she wrote, kind of thing. I obviously wanted to have brand unity with the podcast. Everybody knows the podcast, and we're trying to build a community here, not just a score sheet. So it was kind of to bring a little bit of fun into the podcast and get our viewers involved and stuff like that. But another one of the big reasons, and one of the reasons why we did the podcast in the first place, was to give back to the community. And obviously, the funds that we raise through the Postal League all go back into our ambassador program. And so, the more entries we get, the more ambassadors we can take on. It's that simple, really. So yeah, that was it. I know Nye kind of questioned my sanity at one point, explaining to me obviously how intense it can get when you've got that many entries in. But I don't think I actually explained to Nye at the time what this software was actually capable of. And obviously, once I'd run it through with Nye one night, and it was just like, there you go. I've literally just dumped all the scores in, and it's worked it out. And I think he was kind of regretting not coming to me earlier, to be honest with you.
I tell you what, man, it's impressive, and it's good that we can actually take it back on, because it's one of the things I found running the Postal League the first time around was I was actually able to make connections with people up and down and talk archery with people up and down the country, which was really nice. We were able to, and also being able people. I was able to share moments with people when they'd pushed themselves, or they'd had something that clicked, or it might be, oh, I'm facing this challenge, and that it might be like, let's say someone was having a bit of something had happened where it's an issue on the shooting, and it's like, oh, I've had that problem, or yeah, that's it. Don't worry, those sort of moments. So then being there to celebrate when it goes right as well, and that's what I find with this. It's a chance to share archery with each other. And one thing that I really liked doing, especially as it developed into as the Postal League developed, was almost, for those of you who shot before you in Morecambe Bay Postal League, especially towards the end, will remember my newsletters that came round, where it was 8 people coming with results and that were doing well, or they had a shoot that wants to advertise, and we were able to actually share out and give people shout outs as well. So that's something that I think I know for me, I'll be taking over that. I'll make sure I put that part on emails, and Neil will probably want to jump in as well on that part. But if you get things like that, it doesn't matter what level it's at. If it's an achievement for you, we want to shout about it. So keep letting me and Neil know about them, and we'd love. Or if you've got shoots you want to, obviously we do our tournament reviews, things like that, or unstrung, unsung, things that are going on, people who've been good for you. Keep shouting them out to us so we can again share it and give people shoots that the people most importantly the love that they deserve, and also give your events a chance for a shout out as well. And sorry, Neil, I've just gone off on a complete rant there. I'll let you come back in.
No, you're absolutely spot on there. We will be starting a newsletter up this season to go along with our shoutouts. Obviously, we've learned a lot from last season. Whilst we were obviously setting up this software and making sure that it aligned, I wanted to make sure that obviously it was working, everything aligned with what Nye was getting from his results. Thankfully, the entries weren't anywhere near the 400 that Nye had for the MBA League, so it did give us a little bit of breathing room to test it, and now everything's ready. As Nye said, we want to celebrate with you, so the all of your PBs, the actual league PBs we're going to be tracking this year as well. So if it's your best score from last season, then obviously that will be put down as well to have the league personal best. And we've got some other things that we're working on inside that as well. One of those things.
Oh, is this what you were telling me about before we started recording, Neil?
It is indeed, and this one, again, I just got a look off now as if I was crazy. However, we are introducing something to more for bragging rights than anything. But we are going to be introducing on top of the individuals format, and you don't have to do anything extra. However, if you've got more than a couple of people in your club that have already joined in with the individual side of things, we are going to be combining those scores to go club v club. So, yes, that is right. Team format will be included in season 2. We're still working a little bit of kinks out of it, but for the most part, it is just how a general team format would work. We're going to have a couple of people per club, and the highest people's scores from those will be the ones that get entered into that month's scores. And then basically we're going to be keeping track of that and see which is the best club. So to that, we need to start getting more clubs involved. Talk about it with the rest of your club mates. We don't care who it is. If you're a club, a group of mates, or even a ragtag bunch of postal warriors who just meet online, get people talking about the league, and we can get them all involved.
And I think it's worth also saying for this part, Neil, that the emphasis for the Postal League still remains on having a good time whilst you're shooting, doesn't it? We'd rather people come in and have a good time with and enjoy the shooting as well, and this is just an added bonus.
Yeah, so that exactly. The main focus is still on the individual, so you can, we have an outlet to see you improve, that you can track your scores against the league, see how you did against last season if you were involved with it last season, and just get to know people that are also involved in the Postal League as well. I believe we also discussed setting up a specific group on Facebook for the Postal League. So if you do join the Postal League, you can come in, you can talk to other people that are in the league whilst you're in the group too.
You've just reminded me, Neil, of you always saying about community that comes from it. I always remember one of the I think it might have even been my last Postal League, and two of the lads in the Kent's Barebow category have been first and second all the way through. It was sort of, it go one way one month, one way the next, but only by a few points either way. And then a bit after it's like, just let you know that we actually met up. We're actually shooting next to each other in competition. So it was like, yeah, we're talking about you. We had a good time, but it's sort of.
That's what it's all about. Even if it just gives you something to talk about while you're on the shooting line, while you're around the club, while you're at events, it could be an icebreaker. Oh, you're doing the Unstrung Archery Postal League? Yeah, let's go. And that's what we want. We want to foster that community and get people making friends and talking to each other, and maybe even planning to go to different competitions as well.
I still remember that's how me and Bob Wild first got talking in person as well. Because we'd been corresponding over email, and then we were on the next door boss to each other at NCAS indoors. I told Bob a crap joke, as I usually do, as are most of my jokes. And then a couple of minutes later, he comes over. I've just worked out who you are.
Yeah.
It's all right. We've been emailing each other for 6 months beforehand. And yeah, poor Bob's been stuck with me ever since.
Exactly, and everybody knows who you are now because of the yeah, everybody knows who you are because of the Postal League. So that's what we want. We want people to be able to go, oh yeah, that's Neil and Nide from the Unstrung Archery. Come over and say hello to us if you see us at any competitions. That's what we're there for. If we're not shooting on and whatnot, and we're on the line, and you see a phone in our hands, we're probably doing interviews. Come say hi. We like it.
Or people might also if you do come and say hello to us, make sure you tell us that you've got to leave at some point, because we won't stop talking.
So hopefully we've got everybody just as excited as we are about this Postal League. But anything else you want to add now?
Oh, Yeah, one thing that I think it's important we add is that obviously for Neil and myself, we're both Archery GB archers, but we're not just open to Archery GB, we're open to everyone who's an archer, the NFAS, BLBS, British Horsebow, British Horse Archery Association, or the other associations that I've not mentioned. You're all welcome as long as you're shooting to the shooting safe. You're more than welcome, and it'll be really good to have everyone involved.
Exactly. And not only that, we're more than happy to take entries from overseas as well. So if you're hearing the podcast in a different country and you want to get involved, give us a shout. We'll get you
If
in.
you've got family or archers in other countries as well, let them know, and we'll take Unstrung Archery International.
Yeah. And that will be fantastic to see some competitors from overseas.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Bonus overnight. Back to your regularly scheduled Unstrung Archery podcast episodes at the end of October. And good luck to everybody in the league. We'll see you on the shooting line, or at least on the postal score sheet.